Yeah, my brother's is an animator, and he went through schooling, and he's like, I'm gonna go work at BioWare right out of schooling, and they're like, nah, come back when you have an actual portfolio of stuff you've done. So that that n- being uh a jack of all trades and master of none type thing, do you think that's a big pain point for this industry?
So, yeah, there is a big problem with being a master of none. That's a great thing to have if you are a founder. If you're a solo dev, sure, the more things you can do, the better off you are, right? You can, oh, good, I can just do every aspect of this project. I'll do the sound, I'll do the art, I'll do the programming, I'll do the marketing, whatever. Uh, Fantastic. The reality of it is that there's only a certain amount of time in the day, and even if you do have a skill set that encompasses everything, you really can only do so much in a day. And if you're going to do the whole project yourself, well, you're going to take 5 years to do it because you're doing everything and you can only do so much in a day. You know, you can't be writing the soundtrack while you're doing the art, while you're doing the programming, while you're marketing the thing. You can't. So there's just an efficiency issue with it. Even if you could master all of the skills, you're not going to be able to apply them all in a timely fashion. So, working on a team makes things happen. But if you do work on a team, ideally, you're going to be able to hand the reins over for certain responsibilities to certain people. Hopefully, they're specialized in that area. They can make it happen, right? If they're specialized, they're going to do it faster and better, right? That's how we make success, right? The more we can specialize, the more we can nail certain things. If we can work together and have specialties in complementary areas, we're going to be an amazing team. So a good team will want specialists. You know, that flexibility of general knowledge is great, but end of the day, like, you want somebody that can nail it. Now, having a backup plan is fantastic, but uh, you're better off being a master than a jack of all trades in most scenarios. Um, because a master is going to have less doubt, less delay. They're not going to need to spend as much time learning and investigating things. Like, they'll have done it. They can do it. They can nail it. They can run full steam and get things done so much faster and avoid all the pain and suffering of bugs or failure, right? So specialty really does make a huge difference. Now, my big pet peeve is that most post-secondary game related courses are totally built on trying to make you a jack of all trades, and it doesn't work. Basically, a post secondary institute goes, we want to get game developers in here, we want their money, we want them to sign up. How do we do that? We're going to throw every buzzword you've ever heard into this syllabus. You know, so, oh, look at it, we're going to teach Maya, we're going to teach Unity, we're going to teach Unreal, we're going to teach Adobe, we're going to teach everything, blah 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 blah. 300 bullet points later, guess what? You have a 2-year degree. You spent 2 days on each of those bullet points. It was meaningless. You didn't learn to use any of those in an effective manner. That's the reality of most of these courses, is they're jumping you around through so many different things, you actually don't get even comfortable with them, let alone proficient, let alone the mastery you need to actually execute. So, unfortunately, those kind of scenarios, when you see a whole bunch of different things on a syllabus, you know they don't understand game development. They don't understand building success in their students. They're not looking for you to be an industry professional. They want your money. They're throwing buzzwords at you to get you to sign on and believe this will just, they have such revolutionary, unimaginable knowledge and wealth that they will spring upon your brain You'll galaxy brain out here and just be able to do everything all the time. Oh, of course you're going to be a programmer that's amazing and capable of finishing games. You're going to also be an animator that knows how to do everything. You can know how to do background art as well, and it's it's bullshit. You can't learn all of those things in 2 years. Focus on one of them, and you can actually maybe get somewhere with it. Jumping around between 1,000 different things gets you nowhere, but it does get them your money. So, personally, I see that as really predatory. Unfortunately, it's extremely common, and yeah, one of the things I think is really hurting the industry is saddling our young people with giant debt without giving them the kind of talent, knowledge, experience that they need to actually be able to execute, to develop product. And ultimately, without that, nobody's going to hire you.
Actually, I have one last question. Do you think that the contract work is niche, or is that really big in the industry, especially with, well, you said even AAA studios are contracting out some of their work. So
So, how big is contract work in gaming? Hard to say. Uh, I couldn't give you an exact number of how many contracts are handed out in a year, what the value of them would be, but contract work is big enough. That's There's so many opportunities out there. Whatever your skill set is, whatever your dream projects are, there are opportunities out there that you can be applying for. So it would be great, if everybody that wanted to do game development had the stability of, solid jobs with great paychecks and wonderful titles behind their names. The truth is, we need flexibility to have a functioning industry, but that flexibility is also actually a great opportunity for people to get into the industry. It's very hard to commit to hiring someone, slapping a creative director title on them, slapping a lead programmer title on them. It's hard to get to that point. You need to be able to prove you can do it, right? If people are going to hire you onto a salary position, they need to know that you're worth the money. The best way you can do that is completing projects, and the easiest way to complete a project is complete a tiny project. So contract work might be small temporary work, but it's also a fantastic way into the industry. Get your feet in the door, get started with stuff, build your portfolio, prove you can do the work, right? So I might just need a few pieces of pixel art today, but if you can do that, you can show you can do it. And you prove that time and time again. People will see your work. They can see you've got a credit in a published game, so you're an industry professional. They can see more of your work. They can see more of what you're capable of artistically. Of course, this is all art as an example, but it applies to programming, it applies to music, it applies to anything. What have they done? How does it look? How does it feel? How does it sound? What what bugs are showing up? If you program a game, is the page for that game just full of complaints from people saying it's buggy and glitchy and the movement doesn't work well or whatever? What's the result? What's the results of your work? Show you've done the work. Great way in is contract work. So yeah, that's really one of the great upsides to it is because there is this contract work. It's a great way to work with indies. It's a great way for indies to grow. So that opportunity is there, and it's definitely something you want to look for. It also gives people a lot of flexibility. How do you want to work in games? Is this just a side hustle for now? Are you still in college but you want to start working your way into the game industry? Guess what? You can pick up tiny contracts that you can just work a couple hours a week on. You can do those small things, so it makes it a lot more flexible for people who are doing it as a side hustle while they do school, maybe while they have to take care of a young child. Maybe it's just, you're stuck at home during COVID, like you can't do anything else, oh, I've lost my in-person hospitality job or whatever it is, right? Like you've got the flexibility to try things, you can find the right fit. So that flexibility is really great. Now, of course, the reality of the entire world is that things are moving towards the gig economy. I have a lot of problems with the gig economy. I think there's a ton of predatory, grotesque things and a lot of social decay that comes from that system. Uh, but contract work doesn't necessarily mean, the greedy, horrific, exploitive practices of your Ubers and Lyfts and those other companies. Contract work is as old as time, So uh, it really comes down to how the contract works, right? What are you being asked to do? What are you being paid? What are the terms that bind you? The truth is, I think the game industry does contract work fairly well. That there are things you need to be aware of and protect yourself from, like not being able to show your work ever. Protect yourself from that. Make sure there's some easy way to get paid. Make sure there isn't infinite revisions of your work. Like there are ways to protect yourself. You'll need to be aware of contracts and get some familiarity, but I think there are a lot of really positive things about it. I think the game industry does contracts better than most industries. So I think there's a decent side to it. I think there's a lot of upsides to it, and we're such a growing industry that I think it's great that we still have such a great way for people to get in, because those salary positions are increasing a lot actually. So we still have that great grassroots easy in with contract work and great opportunities to grow within the industry. So contract work is plenty big enough.
Awesome. That you've been so helpful. Like I had like 100 questions, and now it makes a lot more sense. My presentation next week won't be 4 blank slides like it was today. So um, yeah, I don't have any more questions. So it was great talking to you, and thank you again, and have a great day.
So again, thanks to this student for reaching out to me. I love doing interviews. I love sharing the knowledge, helping people understand the industry more and get involved with it. Um, it's great getting to share information with people, and always great hearing some interesting questions and maybe some things I haven't thought of for a while. So fantastic opportunity to reach out to people and share. So always love to do it. If you're looking for more information, you can always send me some questions. I'll hopefully be able to answer them for you. And yeah, while I'm here, of course, I'm a company. I want your money. So check out Massive Corporation on the web, on Steam, on Twitch. On Twitch. Well, yeah, okay, we have a Twitch channel. On Twitter was what I meant to say. Check out Queen City Chaos, Brandon's Buttons, Cheese Runner, and whatever other projects we've come up to by the time you're watching this. We'd love your support. And we're always looking to help out the industry, particularly in our home province of Saskatchewan. So if you've got any questions, opportunities, let us know, and we'll see what we can do about it. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.